just use the raise hand tool. Michelle Kaufman, you're up first.
Hey, Jim. I wanted to ask you, I have two parts. One is just sort of an injury update. It seems like there's always injury questions lately, but with how's Nigel doing and Keyshawn? What do you think they're, and then the other thing is Clemson, what you expect from them. I mean, we saw what they did. They beat North Carolina the other day, PJ Hall. What do you have to do on Wednesday against them? Thank you.
Well, the injury status, I can tell you, is day to day. I think, from what our trainers told me, that we may have everybody there today, but Nigel and Keyshawn might be limited to either non-contact or just half court. So we'll see. That practice will be in a couple of hours. And as far as Clemson is concerned, I think they're doing a great job. They're having a heck of a season. We had a heck of a game with them early in January, and they've continued to play well. They're on a roll right now, and obviously playing at home is a tremendous advantage for them. They've got a great turnout. They've got great fan support, and it's going to be a great challenge for us. The only thing I would say is, for us, I thought we played well enough to win the other day, but we didn't win, and that's unfortunate. Hopefully we can play well enough and be healthy enough to finish these games better than we have.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Isabel Charles.
Hey, Coach. Kind of just, talking about that North Carolina game after having the chance to watch it. What are some positive takeaways or things that you're happy that you saw, from Saturday's matchup?
Well, first of all, I thought Norshad Omier was tremendous at both ends of the court. He scored the ball very well. He rebounded the ball well. He defended really, really well. The only disappointing thing I found in watching the tape was we didn't give him enough help with Baycott. There was several times when one of Norshad's teammates should have been in the paint to help him, and Baycott was able to score right at the rim by himself. And that really should never happen. I thought, we're taking way too many shots off the bounce and not enough catch and shoot. We're a much better shooting team than we have shot in conference play. I think a lot of that has to do with the shot selection being guys taking quick shots off the bounce. We dribble the ball too much. I've said it all season long. We're very, very comfortable in shooting the ball off the bounce, but we're a much better team shooting the ball off the catch.
I'll go next to Adam Lichtenstein. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Good.
So I asked you about this after the game the other night, and you talked about it a bit, but with the turnovers and the good defensive play, how much of that comes from guys just being healthy, playing, practicing with each other, communicating with each other, and playing good defense because they're gelling more by being healthy? And how frustrating has it been that hasn't been the case for a lot of the year?
Well, basketball to me is the ultimate team game. All right, you watch football, you got an offensive team, but then when it goes to defense, they got to come off the field. Now your defensive team has to play. In basketball, you got to play both ends of the court. You have to rebound. Everybody handles the ball. Everybody gets a chance to shoot, pass, dribble, do all the things offensively. And some guys are going to do it more often, of course, but in basketball, you've got to be able to play every aspect of offense and every aspect of defense. And a lot of that has to do with chemistry. You got to have your team out there practicing. And quite frankly, since January, since the conference race really began in January, we just not have had a full roster to practice properly. And that's been very, very disappointing, because when we get a guy back, then we got to indoctrinate him back into the system, whether he's a starter or even if he's a sub. And we have not had the same starting lineup and rotations since conference play began.
David Teal, go ahead.
Jim, you said this team is a much better shooter team off the catch and shoot rather than off the bounce. Were you catch and shoot against Clemson the first time? Because the numbers sure would say so.
Well, I don't know specifically, David, what those stats say. I will know that probably by the end of my staff meeting because we're just going over it. But to give you an example, we're shooting, I think it's 1.2 off of the catch and shoot and 0.82 off of the bounce. And the issue really is we're shooting far too many shots. We're in the 90th percentile in both categories. Off the catch and shoot, we're in the 90th percentile in efficiency. And off the dribble, we're in the 90th percentile in how many shots we shoot off the bounce compared to everybody else. So that says we're just taking way too many shots off the bounce.
Go next to Michelle Kaufman.
Right. Jim, again, a two-parter here. Paul Jobay had played well in the other game and got a lot of minutes, and then I don't think he played in this last game. I was wondering if that was just a matchup thing or was it something else? And then Matt Cleveland, can you just talk about him? His numbers kind of go up and down a little bit on the scoring sheet.
Okay, so as far as Paul Jobay, and this is a coach's decision. I looked at Carolina's front court, and especially Ingram and what he did, how big he is, the number of threes he takes, the number of times he posts up. And I thought A.J. Casey had two very good practices leading into the Carolina game at the defensive end. So I thought, well, let's give A.J. the first nod. In the second half, I wanted to get bigger, and we used Michael Nwako along with Norshad Omier to match up with Baycott and Ingram. So Paul is more kind of a tweener. He's between a 3 and a 4 man. And so it was just a coach's decision. He's a great kid. He works really hard, and he's probably going to play in the next game. But on Saturday, I chose AJ and Michael Nwako. Matt Cleveland, I'll be meeting with him today to see if I can figure out how to get him back to being a consistent double-figure scorer. He's had a very good year as a whole, but in the last several games, he's kind of been left out of the offense, and we need him desperately to be a double-figure scorer and to be in that 15-point category on a nightly basis.
We can get one last quick one from Chris Stock. Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, going back to shooting off the ball and things like that, what's the challenge of getting that other than just the messaging, either practices, meeting with players to try to maximize what you're talking about?
I think the answer is we've got to adjust our offense. In the history of Miami basketball is we've been a terrific offensive team off of ball screens. And the very first possession of the game against North Carolina, we ran a set that ended up with Nigel Pack getting a ball screen and getting to the elbow and hitting a nice pull-up jumper off the dribble. Now, is that a good shot? Yeah. For him, yes. For everybody, no. But we haven't been able to penetrate and pitch like we normally do off of ball screens. If you go back to the Shane Larkin and Angel Rodriguez and Bruce Brown, those guys are really great at using a ball screen, getting in the paint, and then spraying it out for a three-point shot. Right now, we're getting in the paint and shooting it, and that's really not what we want, not what we're emphasizing.
Coach L, thank you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.